Welcome to today's First Chesapeake Chat session. I'm Victoria Mulvihill, a First Chesapeake alumni, and I'm here to introduce the First Chesapeake Chat sponsored by Newport News Shipbuilding. I would like to thank this session sponsor, Accenture Federal, for making this chat possible. Just some housekeeping will let the speakers present and then open up for discussion questions later on if there is time. But feel free to put questions and comments in the comment section throughout the chat, and we will try to get to them all. The session today is Making a System Impact. GaCo will discuss how they made a difference in their school system, presented by Team 1629 GaCo. And I will now pass it over to Lori, Liv, and Katie to introduce themselves. Hello.
Hi, I'm Lori Burdock. I'm a mentor with GaCo Team 1629. I work with the awards submission and the chairman's teams. And today, the girls would like to share with you what GaCo considers our specialty. And that's our work with K-12 STEM education. Specifically in rural school districts, but we believe our Waypoint lessons will work with large districts as well. Our GaCo model and our Waypoint initiative have been very successful in making a systemic impact in Garrett County, and we're sharing them now throughout Appalachia. And today, the girls are going to talk to you about the things that we've been doing, and this is a systemic impact we've been making. So we're going to start today with Katie. And Katie, could you talk to the group and tell them a little bit about what a systemic impact is?
Sure. So first of all, a systemic or system-wide impact is making a difference to every student in a school or school system, whether they are directly on a FIRST team or not. Now, it's obvious that FIRST makes a difference to students who are actually on a FIRST team. And while it's our dream for every student who's in an entire school district to be on a FIRST team, until that happens, the next best thing is having a FIRST team in your school district that makes a systemic impact. And why is this so important to GaCo, you might ask? It all starts with our vision, and that vision is for all students in Garrett County and now spreading into all of Appalachia to achieve something we call STEM ready. And in other words, that means that every student has the necessary skills to be successful in STEM. The best way to reach all of the students in Garrett County is to partner with the Garrett County public school system so that we can make a difference to each child in the district. In addition, teams like GaCo that are so well supported by their schools should find it important to make as big of a difference as possible in their school system. This can be thought of as a sort of a return investment on the school's investment. And we consider our partnership with our Board of Education to be our greatest partner. And we want to make sure that partnership is a true two-way win-win situation. We've talked to a lot of superintendents, Board of Education members, and principals about starting FIRST programs in their district. And we want that to be modeled on our team because we found that they like the idea of having a robotics program in their school system, but they love the idea of having a FIRST team that makes a systemic impact.
Thank you, Katie. So Liv is going to now talk to you about how we are making that systemic impact in our schools. Liv?
Yeah. So over the past 5 years, we've phased in something we like to call our STEM Waypoint lessons. And we teach these to every 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade student in our school system. All 3 grade lessons are very engaging, and they're tied to the Common Core and Next Gen standards. They actually help students understand concepts in math and science, as well as the STEM concepts behind them. What makes these STEM Waypoint lessons really special to us and the students is that they're 100% taught by GaCo students. So I'll talk to you now about what each lesson is. So our 3rd grade lesson is our top spinner, which it's actually made out of Legos. It actually spins a top as part of the lesson, and every student gets to build their own top spinner and then keep it. We do this by fundraising and buying the Lego pieces they need and make kits fit. We make the kits, and we do this by fundraising. The whole time the kids are making them, they're wondering, what are we building? Because we never tell them. We just tell them it's a Lego machine. And by the end, the enthusiasm grows and grows with the kids. And finally, we tell them that they get to keep them, and they figure out what they are, and they're just amazed. The cool thing about our STEM Waypoint lessons is that they're like a waypoint like in GPS. So if the kids ever get lost on their STEM journey, they always have a waypoint to go back to in case they get lost. And Katie will actually show you guys how the top spinner works.
Yeah, so this is a Lego top spinner, and the top spinner lesson is so important for third graders because it is often the first meaningful encounter they have for STEM that connects what they actually learned in that school year to a fun, engaging STEM activity. And so in third grade, third graders learn about multiplication facts, and then we go in their classroom and they make this fun Lego toy, and we actually teach them about how gears multiply themselves and gear ratios. So basically, as they're building it, we show them that this big gear here has 27 teeth, and this little gear has 8 teeth. And so they see that the little gear has to spin 3 times faster than the big gear in order to kind of keep up with it. And then in that way, we explain gear ratios. And then we show them that there are 3 sets of those small to big gear ratios. And as we work through the process with them, they see how each time you add on another one of those sets, it multiplies on itself. So they see how this one's going 3 times faster than this one, and eventually the big top is going 27 times faster than the handle. So then they're all wondering what we're making, and we get to show them, and we show them that it spins, and they have this fun toy at the end. And I really probably cannot show this to you exactly in the camera, but it's really fun, and the kids love it.
Thanks, Katie.
Yeah.
So the next thing I'd like to show you guys is our 4th grade lesson, and this is actually our binary number card system. And it teaches the students about binary numbers and how they're used within the computer system and how it's an on-off or ones and zeros. So if I could actually have Victoria be my little experimenter.
Oh boy.
You'll be fine. I'd like you to pick a number between 1 and 31, but don't tell me what it is. And you can actually write it down so that way we can see it at the end.
Okay. I've got a number.
All right. So then can you see all these numbers?
Yes.
Okay. So what I want you to do is whenever I hold up a card, there will be 5 of them. Look at the card, and if you see your number on it, say yes. And if you don't see it, say no.
Okay, so yes.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No.
Ah.
Yes. No.
Was your number 18?
It was 18.
So I'm not sure if we have it. So I'm not sure we have enough time, and it's a little bit harder to show you guys since the cards are so big right now. But I'll explain it to you. And if you guys want a bigger, like more in-depth one, we'll be on here again on Thursday, and you can check out that one too. So if you look on the there it is, left-hand corner of each card, it's 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. So each one of those numbers is a place value of binary. So every time you said yes, I added that number. So you said yes to 16 and yes to 2. So 2 plus 16 was 18, which is how I got your number. So every time you say yes, you put a 1s in that place. Every time you say no, you give it a 0. And that's how our binary number cards work.
That's really cool.
So then the last thing I'd like to show you guys is our 5th grade lesson. And this is actually our key to the universe caliper. So we teach our students about Fibonacci numbers and phi, which phi is the golden ratio and how it can be found all throughout nature. What's really neat about this lesson is we go in and we just tell the students that they're going to build the key to the universe. Well, we're teaching 5th graders, so they don't completely they're like, yeah, maybe, but I don't think so. But by the end, whenever we show them all the cool tricks, and I'll show you guys a couple in a few minutes, they actually believe that it is the key to the universe, which is the cool part. So I gotta figure out how to do it when we're backwards. Okay, so if you look here, this is the key to the universe. So if you look at it, whenever you put this up to your fingers, it finds the top right here, the bottom of my finger, and then right in the middle, I'm not sure you guys can see it, but right there, that's where my middle knuckle is. And you can see right on the line how it works. The same thing works with your face. So if I put it to the top of my forehead and the bottom of my chin, it'll find right in the middle where my nose is, because everyone is proportional. And it works on the same thing if you would do from your fingers to the top of your arm, it would find the middle of your elbow. And do the same thing for your leg too. Katie, do you have any of the plants to show them or no?
No.
That's okay. If we were to use a plant, it would find each point of the stem where the leaves would come off. Neither of us have a plant right now, but we might do that one next time too. And that's all I have for you guys.
All right. Thank you, Liv. All right. So that was the 5th grade lesson, and I'm just going to take a second and talk to you. We also do a 6th grade lesson. It's called the IR6 project, and we started this one several years ago. I want to say around 5 years ago. And what happens is that the 6th grade classes in science and language arts work together, and they actually complete the FLL research project. And whatever the research project is, we've been working with Animal Allies, which is an old FLL project, but it's a fun one for the kids to do something to help an animal. So what we do is the kids work with a team and they design something that would help an animal. And the job of GaCo is to be the judges. They provide some support, and they also give prizes to the winners of the middle schools. So it's a big thing. I teach 6th grade science, so my kids get very excited about this project every year. And GaCo graciously gives the prizes and judges the kids on the team judge 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. So it's kind of like a real life kind of learning lesson for 6th graders. And they're working with language arts, writing, research, and the science of helping an animal. So it's good stuff. All right. So moving into the next thing. Katie, this one's for you. Mm-hmm. Besides teaching your STEM Waypoint lessons, how else does GaCo help to make themselves valuable in Garrett County?
So GaCo is always looking for ways to make a difference. One way that a lot of teams are making a difference right now is by helping out as much as possible with the COVID-19 pandemic. And GaCo is trying to make a systemic impact with our school at home by offering poster and coding challenges and competitions for elementary and middle school students. And these serve as a fun home activity and a challenge to keep them engaged in STEM from home. And we're also offering tutoring services. So we're having to adapt a lot of the ways we traditionally make a difference. And one example of that is our summer Lego technology camps. These are usually a great fundraiser and an opportunity to spread STEM in our community. But given the current circumstances, we are working on contingency plans for this summer for a virtual camp that does not require Legos. Although it's a challenge, we are hoping to continue to make a difference to the best of our ability, like GaCo usually does.
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah.
All right. So, Liv, how about elementary school teachers? You talked about the Waypoint lessons, and you told us about what you do in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. How do the elementary teachers respond to you guys coming in and having students, high school kids, come in and teach?
So they actually really like us coming into their classrooms. Most of us actually have the same teachers, so they're really excited about us coming back and teaching their classes. And we're teaching our STEM Waypoint lessons, so they connect to their curriculum really well, and they know it ties in. So they like that too. The other thing that we tend to do is we wait until the spring when the teachers are more relaxed because testing is over. So they're more relaxed to having visitors coming in their classrooms, and it makes it easier for us to leave whenever the kids are excited and different things like that.
All right. Thank you. Another thing I'd like to add to that one is that, every sixth grader is getting FLL in school, whether they're at Southern Middle or Northern Middle. We have 2 middle schools in our county. So every sixth grader has that opportunity through those Waypoint lessons. Katie, this question is for you. So how can, GaCo is an FRC team, so you're working with high school kids, but how can other teams, FLL, FTC, how could they work to make a systemic impact in their communities?
So that's actually another way that GaCo makes a systemic impact. As a school-based FRC team, we partner with our school system and we support all of the other school-based FIRST teams. That includes about 14 FLL teams, 7 FTC teams, and a handful of FLL junior teams. And we support the entire FIRST program of our school-based teams, and that includes a whole host of things. Oftentimes, we call upon those teams to help us in various initiatives, such as supporting younger FIRST teams, FIRST programs, and teaching our STEM Waypoint lessons. One of our FLL teams even started teaching their own lessons in their primary grades. Another FLL team helped improve our 5th grade lesson by identifying another way that the golden ratio actually can be observed in nature. So we often call on members of other teams in other programs to support our STEM Ready Kids initiative. So in this way, they are also making a systemic impact.
All right, thank you, Katie. And I can speak a little bit to the FLL team going in to work with the younger kids. Liv was actually on a Lego team that I'm guessing 3 or 4 years in a row went to a pre-K classrooms, well, several pre-K classrooms in Garrett County, and they taught spatial reasoning lessons. So you don't have to be a high school kid to go and teach younger kids. It's exciting for the team members no matter the age. And so we had elementary kids that were going into pre-K with the FLL team teaching spatial reasoning lessons, and very successful at that. So my next question, Liv, this one is going to go to you. And so you talked about the Waypoint lessons and teachers not minding you coming in, but you guys are all high school students on the team. So how are you getting out of class to do this?
Well, first off, this didn't just happen overnight. It took 5 years to develop our STEM Waypoint lessons. And the other thing is that we have a very strong relationship with our high school principals and the teachers, which works in our favor as well. But we have total support of our administration and the facilities and transporting our students. Our superintendent actually last year purchased our team a Suburban, so we wouldn't have to use the expenses of a bus for only transporting 2 or 3 kids to go to classes. And another thing is that we have a medium-sized team, only about 30 kids. So we have a good pool of students that we can take out of classes instead of just having 3 or 4 kids the same every time. So we'll pull from different groups and different kids for different lessons. The other thing that we take advantage of is we have these days called professional development, which is for our teachers to catch up on things and have planning and meetings. Well, they're half days for students. So whenever we have those half days, we'll go down to like a school in West Virginia or somewhere like that whenever they're still in school, so we're not missing any classes. And same for days whenever we don't have school and other schools do.
Thank you, Liv. All right. Katie, this one's for you. How do you feel about other teams using your Waypoint lessons?
So we love it when other teams use our Waypoint lessons, and that's one of the main reasons we're sharing with you guys today. And actually, lots of teams have already started to implement our lessons, including the RoboBees and the RoboLions, and they've even adapted our Lego Top Spinner lessons. So if any of our listeners want to find where they can, or want to find our STEM Waypoint lessons, and they want to implement them in their own districts or in their own schools, we really encourage you to reach out to us at GaCo@GarrettCountySchools.org or to reach out on Facebook. Yeah, so we're really excited and hope that you guys will start doing this too.
All right. Thank you, Katie. I wanted to take a minute and just talk about, our whole goal with GaCo is just to create meaningful STEM experiences for students. And we do that in a variety of ways. And the girls have talked to you a lot about some of the things that we're known for. This year, we, for the first time, had a unified FLL team. And so these are kids that have 504s and IEPs, and they're working to do the same thing as all other FLL students and having an opportunity with the mentorship of GaCo students and GaCo mentors to, work together and to do something for their community. And so that has been a very big success. And we see that coming larger and doing more with that even next year. So this year we just started with the unified part of this, and then we hope to move on with that in the future. We want you guys to know, everyone who's listening, that everything that we've talked to you today about is on our website. And if you email us at GaCo at garrettcountyschools.org, we will send you anything else that you want. I think you can see our thing on the screen right now. Please write that down, and please feel free to contact us. We'd be happy to share everything with you. We have a couple minutes left. So Katie, would you be willing to talk a little bit about our GaCo model with the audience?
Sure. So the GaCo model, we created it because whenever we were going to other school districts and talking to superintendents and Board of Ed members about starting a FIRST team in their area, we kind of wanted to show a comprehensive model of what our team is doing and how we're making a systemic impact. So the GaCo model is a way that other teams can kind of take what we're doing and make it meaningful to their own team. And so the GaCo model has three primary components. The first one is finding and creating meaningful community partnerships. We talked a little bit about this earlier. Our Board of Education is our most meaningful and valuable partner because that gives us access to go into the classrooms and teach the lessons. We also partner with a lot of, with Pillar and Beitzel, which is a community-based organization. So all of those partnerships, we try to make sure they're really meaningful and that it's truly a win-win partnership. We're giving them something, they're giving us funding and support or mentors. So that's our first component. Our second component is mentoring younger FIRST teams. Like I said earlier, we as a school-based FRC team, we support all of our school-based FIRST programs, including the FLL, the FTC, the FLL Junior teams, and that we need mentors, and a lot of students on GaCo would actually mentor the younger FIRST teams. So that's a really important part to help sustain a meaningful FIRST program in our entire school system. And the last component, the most important component of the GaCo model, is making a systemic impact. And that is what we're talking to you about today. That's going into the classrooms and teaching the lessons, making sure every student in an entire school district is impacted by our FIRST team, whether they're actually on a FIRST team or not.
Thank you, Katie. Victoria, did you have a question for us?
Yes, there's a question in the chat that I wanted to make sure you all had the opportunity to.
Okay, good. I couldn't see it, but I saw that there was something there.
It is, were you able to complete all your waypoints this year? And if not, how are you going to address that?
Excellent question. Girls, which one of you wants it?
Yeah.
All right.
So we actually didn't get to complete any of them except for the ones that we've gone like in the previous, before the competition season started, and just like on one-on-one encounters. But we weren't able to do the classrooms this year. So we already have a plan, and we plan to go get those same kids, so the third graders will be fourth graders next year. So they'll get double doses of GaCo, and we'll do the lesson that they missed in the fall, and then we'll come back again and see them in the spring and do the one that they're actually supposed to be on that grade that year.
So those kids are going to be very excited because they'll get to see
it twice.
Yeah.
It'll be really cool because we'll actually get to review the key concept that the STEM lesson would have correlated to. Like for the third graders, we'll get to teach multiplication to fourth graders, and that'll be a nice review before they start into their fourth grade math. So it'll work out.
All right. COVID has definitely presented a challenge to our team, and we're guessing that that same challenge has been presented to many teams out there. And, Chuck, our lead mentor, what he always says is life is all about what you do with Plan B. So our Plan B is all in the process of being scheduled right now and trying to think outside the box. And I think one of the things that we were talking about last night is that we have to be clever enough to think of ways that we can do what we normally do in a different fashion. So that is our focus at this point in time. And I guess our virtual tech camps, these tech camps, the LEGO tech camps have been going on for 20 years in Garrett County. And so this year there's going to be some kind of new and exciting virtual version of that. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it goes well. Did you have anything to add, girls?
I had one more question for you all.
Oh, good. I'm sorry.
Before we're done. And it was just, you all have a fantastic partnership and just relationship with your school system and just that connection. And I know that's something that some other teams may struggle with, especially in counties that are larger and they don't really have that opportunity as much. So what kind of advice do you have for those students or for those teams working with those schools?
One thing that GaCo really tries to say whenever we're asked this kind of question is advice to other teams is work with what you got. And that means that whatever your district looks like, no first team and no district is going to look the same, but kind of take a look at what you have and what you can offer to your area. So GaCo, what we have is a very rural district, and we also have the Appalachian Mountains, and that is a great area for us to make a difference. There's a need for STEM education. We saw that need, and we tried to make a systemic impact as much as we can. Other teams may have different challenges that they can offer and help with, and that is kind of our best advice, is to look at what you can offer to an area. And if you email us with our email that we gave out earlier, we are happy to help you in any situation that a team may be in and help give more specific advice.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. You've done a fantastic job sharing this great program with us, and I feel like it's something that more teams could really, really benefit from implementing into their county. And everything. So thank you so much for sharing all of that and speaking with us. And yeah, I would like to also take this time now to once again thank our sponsor, Accenture Federal. We have a short video from them, so please stick around and have a great rest of your day.